my friends. Let's open up this vlog, shall we? So today is November 1st. Today is the first day of 30 in 30. So I think what I'm going to do today, I think I'm going to start this readathon by working on my 2 omnibuses that I can read of Skip Beat, because that'll be 6 volumes. And if I do that over the next couple of days, if I have a couple days where I don't read, I'll be okay. So that's kind of where I'm leaning and what I'm thinking right now. Book-wise, I'm currently rereading technically Arcanum Unbound on audio, because I'm trying to get all of my Mistborn stuff fresh before The Lost Metal comes out later this month. So I will take some time to read that once it comes out. So that's my current audio. Other than that, I've gotten some filming done this morning, and then I'd like to pick out a nonfiction to start, and then I need to pick out an ebook. So ebook wise, I think I'm going to start A Very Merry Bromance, because technically that comes out today, but I haven't gotten to it yet. And I love the Bromance series so much that I think I'm going to spend some time reading that today. And then manga wise, I already have my decision made. And then nonfiction wise, I think I'm going to start with Crying in H Mart. I've had that book for like a year and I still haven't read it. So I think I'm going to prioritize that one first so that I have that nonfiction read and done and taken care of. And then I'll switch to a different nonfiction. A lot of my physical TBR is going to be manga and then my nonfictions, I think. And then from there, I can move into other things. A lot of my ebooks are going to be arcs, my romances, my fun stuff. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking and feeling right now. And yeah, I just wanted to open up this vlog while I had the camera going, while I was in a filming mood, and while my hair was fresh and clean, because I let somebody else wash it this morning, and man, it felt glorious. Rather than trying to struggle in the shower with it, I just opted to go down to my local Great Clips and have them just wash it for me. They dried it most of the way just because they were slow and they had time, and so they offered to do that, and they were really sweet. I had a really positive experience there. So if you are unable to wash your own hair for whatever reason, feel free to stop by your local Great Clips and ask for a wash. I mean, it costs like $6 in my area to do that. So for me, it was worth every penny, and my hair feels good. It just feels nice to have my hair feel done, because it hasn't really felt that done lately with the surgery and everything. And so it was just a really positive thing. During this vlog, you'll see this come off, because it comes off the 11th at the latest. Hello, we are officially at November 2nd. Day 1 went really well. I don't remember if I've talked to you about this one, so I'm going to quickly talk about it. And if not, if I have, I'll cut this part out. But if not, then it'll still be here. So I read Blue Box Volume 1. This was an early copy that I got thanks to Viz from Viz Media through NetGalley. In this one, we have a female basketball player and a male badminton player. The energy and vibe of the female basketball player is helping the male badminton player want to play better, and he's had a crush on her for a long time. Her family is going to move out of the country for work, and so she's now going to be living with him and his family because his mom and her mom played basketball together in school. And so that's how their families know each other, so she's going to be staying with them, and that's causing a whole different thing now at school. So far, it's interesting. This is one that I think I'm going to read another volume or 2 before I buy. But I can see why people would like it. I can also see why people wouldn't. One of my biggest complaints is a lot of people don't like the hero. I'm like, for me, it's too early to say yet. He might not be as romantically handsome as some of our shoujo heroes, but I don't think he's necessarily bad. He's very determined and motivated, And I think there's a lot of good to him, and I think that may pay off for him later. So the other manga item that I read was this 3-in-1 omnibus of Skip Beat. Skip Beat is a classic shoujo manga, if you aren't familiar. So this contained volumes 7, 8, and 9, and I read all of these during live reading sprints last night. I will leave them linked in the corner. If you want to give them a watch, they're not monetized because of some of the things that we speak about, but they're still there. They're still fun. Have a good time. And we did 3 sprints total. So if you're just looking for some with some fun conversation in between the sprints, I think those turned out really fun. So book-wise, I did start crying in H Mart. I left it in the bedroom. So this one is really sad, so I am going to have to take it slow because it deals with a lot of grief and loss, because she talks about how she cries in H Mart because she misses her mom who passed away in 2014. So it is very heavy on the grief factor. So if grief is something that's hard for you to read about, this may not be the book for you. For me, it's weird to say I'm enjoying it, but I do think it's a great read so far, and I'm looking forward to reading more. I just have to make sure that I don't tax my mental health too much with this particular one. So I'm taking it in small chunks. So I read the first, I can't remember if it was 4 or 5 chapters yesterday, and that's about what I'll probably do, is every 4 to 5 chapters. I'll stop for the day because I think doing too much more than that will be too much for me. The other thing I started was A Very Merry Bromance by Lyssa Kay Adams. I'm about 25% of the way into this one. Once I finish my manga reads for today, I just plan on reading that one, taking a day off from crying in H Mart and focusing on that. Because technically that was out yesterday, and so I'd really love to get my thoughts up on that very, very soon. So manga-wise, since it is a day off from work again, it's about 11:30 in the morning. I went to the doctor, took care of some things this morning. It was just a general physical and ordering some tests for some other small problems I've got going on. So nothing major, nothing to worry about. Just basic self-care, medical care related kinds of things. So my reading goal for today is going to be the next omnibus of Skip Beat that I have. I do not have the one after this yet, so that'll be a pause on where I'm reading right now. So this contains volumes 10, 11, and 12, which would give me another 3 for the challenge. That gets me at 7 reads. So if I don't end up reading for a couple of days due to work or personal life or anything like that, then I'm still ahead of schedule. And that's kind of my plan to start off the readathon. And I'd rather start off ahead and have a day or 2 where I can take a break than start too slow. And especially where I have today off, it's okay to take a chunkier one like this and work on it. Hello and good morning, my friends. So today is November 4th. It's actually someone I care about very deeply's birthday. Not my partner, but a family member. So I'll be doing a family dinner and stuff tonight. But I have read some more since we last chatted. So just so you know, I have put a pause on Arcanum Unbound for now. I got through Mistborn Secret History, and I know that that was a really integral piece for the second era of Mistborn. So once I got finished with that, I just wanted to jump right back into era 2. So I have started Shadows of Self. I've got about 5 hours left of the audiobook of this, so I've definitely got some time. I would love to get it done by this time next week. The last book in this second era of Mistborn comes out on the 15th, so I want to have enough time to get Bands of Mourning done before the 15th as well. So I would love to have Shadows of Self done by early next week. And considering I have Monday off and Hubs will be at work, I can probably listen to a good chunk of it and finish it off that day. So that's kind of what I'm leaning towards right now. In the meantime, that's still my audiobook in the car, and I'm really enjoying it. Wax and Wayne just have this dynamic that I really love and thrive on. But manga-wise, I've read another 3 volumes because I read the next omnibus of Skip Beat. So this contains volumes 10, 11, and 12. I'm very much looking forward to the next omnibus. I can understand why some people wouldn't love this series because it is a slower moving series, but honestly, I'm liking the slow burn of the relationship in this one. I'm liking how they're both growing significantly throughout the course of the series already. And there's only going to be more growth to come. I'm very much looking forward to the future of this one. Yes, it's still ongoing in Japan, but I'm just slowly collecting the 3-in-1s as I find them. I have a bunch more later on in the series, but I do not have the next one, so I will be putting a pause on that. So at this point, I am also still reading A Very Merry Bromance. I haven't had much time to sit and read books. I've been spending time with the hubs and trying to focus on getting this skip beat done. So I'm hoping to get A Very Merry Bromance finished up today. I did pick up a physical copy from work. So I have it physically and digitally. I always collect the series physically, and I'm already loving the book so far. So I know that this is going to be one that I want for my collection. So, yes. I'm going to grab my Kindle, pick out a volume of manga. I'm leaning towards Mao Volume 6 because 7's out and I have it, and then 8 comes out this month. So I'm kind of feeling Mao at the moment. Give me some Rumiko Takahashi, and yes, feeling good about that. Hi. So we haven't updated what I've read since we last chatted. So I've read a couple more volumes of manga. I've made progress in my audiobook. I haven't touched my ebook or my physical book. That's all going to change over the next couple of days. But anyhow, so manga-wise, I've read Volume 6 and Volume 7 of Mao. Now, this one is Rumiko Takahashi's most recent series, and I feel like this series is really an amalgamation of all of her others. I feel like she took everything that she learned from writing all of her other series and put it into this, and it's made for a really fun story. It feels like Takahashi, but at the same time, it's much smoother. It's much more like, the pacing's a lot better than some of the other series to me. And I'm really enjoying my time with this so far. It has a very intriguing plot. The villain is also like very interesting, and their motivations are very interesting. So I find this intriguing all around. Volume 8's coming out very soon, and we met the character on the cover of 8 in Volume 7. But again, because I'm so deep in the series, I can't share too much. But essentially, we're following a gentleman named Mao and a girl from modern Japan named Nanako. We're kind of following their adventures as they go around, figuring out why Mao is attached to a particular demon and some things like that. It's very interesting, very intriguing. I'm trying to be super vague here. It's also kind of a cat manga in a really weird, backwards kind of way, but it's fantastic. Absolutely would recommend. So Ashley's going to be hosting some 30 and 30 sprints. So I've got that queued up. And my next thing I'm going to focus on is I have all these volumes of LDK. So it's the 4 singles and then the double here. So I really want to get these done and caught up as quickly as I can so that I can just be current with the series, because we'll get something like this like once a year now. So yeah, I'm very excited to get caught up on a series. This is one that I've been slowly collecting for a long time, and it's just nice to be mostly current with it. So yeah, I'm excited to get caught up again. And I'm just rambling now. So I'm gonna go. We'll chat more later. Hi. So we finished reading sprints, so I'm going to tell you what I read. So, first things first. I read it all. I'm now current with LDK, really enjoying it. I can't say too much because we're so far in, but I feel like our couple is developing very strongly, and I'm very much looking forward to their future. No regrets about owning it, but I am officially current with the series, feeling very good about that. Because I read a total of 7 volumes, because we went for like 4 hours. The other one I read was Wand Dance Volume 2. I really love to continue... I love the continuation of this story after Volume 1. I was madly in love with Volume 1, loved the art, loved everything about it. Definitely would recommend continuing. This is just a very powerful story. If you're unsure, try to read it digitally or check it out from your library or sit in a bookstore and read it. Do whatever you need to do for your budget. All of it is valid and just fine, in my opinion. But yes, I would definitely recommend reading Wand Dance because it is a cut above the average. I'm very, very excited. So I'm probably not going to read any manga tomorrow. I'm going to focus on trying to finish a book because I have yet to finish a book this month. So that's going to be tomorrow's focus. But it's late. I'm going to go to bed. Good night. Hello, friends. So it is now Monday the 7th. So it's been about a week. I haven't done much reading since we last chatted on, what was it, Saturday night? Friday night? I don't remember. I haven't read any manga since then because I've been trying to get some books finished. So today I did finish A Very Merry Bromance by Lyssa Kay Adams. I really enjoyed this installment in the Bromance Brothers or Bromance Book Club series. Colton was a very fun hero to follow. He is a country music star. And so if you like a good celebrity romance, I think this will fit the bill for you, even though it's not all about him being famous. The holiday elements of this are really fun. Our heroine, Gretchen, is kind of a Christmas Scrooge a little bit. There is a reason for that. There are going to be some triggers with this particular series. Gaslighting from family members especially, but just toxic family environments and some things like that. So basically Gretchen's family is complete garbage, and you see why they're complete garbage in the book. So if you have problems with toxic family dynamics, be wary of this one. Colton's family and all of the bromance people definitely balance that out for our heroine, and you see her come to that understanding throughout the course of the novel. But in this, it's just really beautiful. I really had a good time because this was more than a holiday novel. This was really just a solid romance. Yes, it had holiday elements to it, but I think you could have taken some of those holiday elements out and swapped them with other things, and it would have worked just as well. So that's why I'm like, this isn't strictly a holiday romance for me. This is one where you could read it any time of the year and you're going to be okay. So yes, definitely would recommend that one. I do have my next ebook picked out. That's going to be Raven Unveiled by Grace Draven because I love Grace Draven, and I've been sitting on this arc for way too long. So we're going to get to that next. The other thing I'm trying to get finished today is Shadows of Self by Brandon Sanderson. I've only got about 2 hours left in that audiobook, so I really want to get it finished today. It's about 2:30 in the afternoon, so I think I can. I'm working with my girl Izzy here. We've got some productivity sprints going, so I'm hoping I can get some done on that. I do have a video I need to edit, and then I do want to do some planner prep for 2023. I'm still waiting for a few supplies to show up, so I'll probably just show you guys everything if you're interested in that. I should have a video all about my planners that you see, so I will leave that linked in the corner, whichever corner, in a corner. And that's going to be it for now. Once I finish Shadows of Self, I'll come back. Granted, I can't say too much because it's technically book 5 in the Mistborn universe. But I am really enjoying it. Some things that didn't click for me before are clicking now. And so I'm enjoying it even more. So very much looking forward to finishing that off and starting up Bands of Mourning so I can get everything done so I can start The Lost Metal on the 15th when it comes out. So with that said, that's it for now. I'll chat with you guys soon. Hello. So it's now Wednesday. My cast is off. I've got my scar there. Can't really see it, but it's healing up really nicely. The surgeon's office is really pleased with how it's healing. I'm very pleased. There's only a few certain movements that cause a little bit of pain in it, but they said that's very normal for the healing process. So things are good. So yes, very happy about that. And then today I had the day off from work. So I spent some time with Maeve from Maeve Ever Reading this morning. She'll be linked down below. She's one of my very dear friends and she lives nearby. So we get together usually once a week. The last couple weeks have been crazy for both of us, so we haven't gotten together. But yeah, so we got together today at the bookstore and we read some volume ones. So let's talk about what I read, because I only brought one of the 3 I read home. So the first one I read was See You at the Food Court Tomorrow. I read the first couple of chapters of this one, and it's cute enough. This is 2 friends who are kind of on the outskirts at their school, and the friendship that they have, where they meet up at the food court and they talk, and their friendship develops and grows throughout the volume. I just wasn't loving it. I was hoping it was going to be a Yuri. It was not. And, you know, it's fine. It's plenty cute, but not really one I want to add to my collection. So if you've been intrigued, I would sit at the library or the bookstore and read that before you purchase it so that you know for sure if you like it or not. The next one I read was volume 1 of Sheepy Horned Witch Romy. The cover of this one was really cute, so I was very curious. And this one was a big miss for me. So essentially this girl pitched a fit, had a bad day, and said she wanted everyone to disappear. So everybody in the world falls asleep. And all of a sudden this young man wakes up, and she woke him up. She removed the spell from him just so that she could pester him. And this one's not really my thing. The art on the inside was not nearly as cute as the art on the cover. And there was just nothing to keep me going with this one. So again, sadly a miss. And this one did not come home with me. The one that did come home with me, however, is Eucharism. I think that's how you pronounce this anyways. So this has that reincarnation trope, but it's done really, really well. So essentially we have this man who didn't forget the memories of his past life, and he had a scar across his body that looked like he'd been cut by like a blade. But as he's grown, he's 17, he's written many novels based in the Edo era of Japan and centered in the pleasure district. What he does is essentially he's slipping back and forth between the modern era and the Edo era as he sleeps, a little bit like Your Name, but not quite, because he goes back into himself in the past. So he is the reincarnation of her, and he continues to meet people who are also reincarnations of people that this woman knew in the Edo era. And so it keeps getting more interesting and more politically like the political intrigue on this one is very high for me. The art is absolutely stunning. Very beautiful art. Big fan. Let's see, that one there. Big, beautiful art. And yes, I really am enjoying this one. I'm going to track down the other 3 volumes of this one. This one was just randomly at my Barnes & Noble. I don't know if Viz did a reprint, and so we got one. I don't know what was going on. But I am very excited to continue. It's only 3 more volumes. My battery's going to die, so we're going to wrap this up. We'll talk more later. Hello. So let's do a quick update. So first things first, I have finished Shadows of Self since we last chatted, and I really enjoyed the ending of that one. I have immediately jumped into Bands of Mourning, and again, because this is so deep in a series and in a world that I really can't say too much, other than I love it. The way that it's tying into the greater universe that Brandon Sanderson has is brilliant, and I'm really just enjoying my time. I've been doing some sprints with Izzy on her channel for her members, and I've read a couple volumes of manga, so let's chat about those real quick. So I read Something's Wrong With Us volume 11. This one was wild and bonkers in a different way than previous volumes, but it was still very satisfying, and I really enjoyed how that played out. And the future for Now and Tsubaki is left on like the worst cliffhanger ever. So if you don't like cliffhangers, wait till the series is done. It's only going to be 16 volumes, so you don't have to wait that much longer. But Anyways, it's really interesting. This one was much more centered on the confectionery side rather than all the twisted, darker romance side of it. So it was still very interesting and integral to the plot and the whole reason why we're here. But yes, very, very good. Secondly, I read I'll Never Be Your Crown Princess Volume 2. And this was a very interesting volume as well. I really enjoyed how things played out. Things did get steamy towards the end of the volume. But we saw a potential other love interest for our heroine in this volume as well, and he's very upset that she's now engaged to the Crown Prince. So we'll see how things go for them from there, but I really like their dynamic. It's growing and budding in its own way, and it's perfection, and I'm really, really happy with it. So with that said, I just wanted to let you guys know what I'd read, and I'll come back soon. Good morning, friends. So it is officially Friday the 10th, and I am here to chat with you about what I've been reading lately. So, since I last read the manga Wednesday night, I did not read any manga yesterday because I focused on finishing up Raven Unveiled by Grace Draven. Now, this one was again beautiful. I really love Grace Draven and what she does. And in this one, I feel like our hero was almost too antagonistic towards our heroine for a little longer than I usually like in an enemies to lover situation. I mean, he's seeking revenge, so it makes sense, but it went on a little longer than I usually like. So just know that going in. The other thing you should know going in is that this is very fantasy heavy, even compared to something like Radiance, where it is very world and overarching plot driven. So if that's not really your jam, I would pass on this series. I love it. And if you're primarily a fantasy reader wanting to dip your toe into romance, I think this is a great bridge over because there is enough romance content for it to feel like a romance, but at the same time, it is very fantasy driven, very world driven, very plot driven. So I think it's got that great balance for someone who's coming from fantasy into romance. So if that is something that you're looking to do, this is a great example of that. But yeah, I ended up really enjoying the characters and their chemistry once it got going and once he eased up a little bit. But yeah, the way it's weaving into the overarching plot of the series is brilliant. I love it. The way Grace Draven comes at her stories is just a thing of beauty to me. I really enjoy it. And again, if you like her writing, I do think the series is worth a try. It's been hit or miss for some people, but I was primarily a fantasy reader before I started reading as much romance as I do on the channel lately. So definitely, if you like fantasy, I do think this series is worth it. It's going to have a little more romance than some, but yes, definitely excited about that. So yes, I gave it a solid 4 stars, would definitely recommend. Okay, so the other thing I'm reading that I keep forgetting to talk about because I'm a space, I'm buddy reading Vespertine by Margaret Rogerson with Lindsay over at Lindsay Tutt. We just started this Tuesday, so we're only a couple of days in, but again, I'm really liking it so far. It's very engaging, very beautiful, very atmospheric. Margaret Rogerson does great with atmosphere. So I've really enjoyed most of what I've read from her. My least favorite is her first, which is An Enchantment of Ravens, which is pretty common, but I'm really enjoying this one so far. I'm very much looking forward to more in this. So I'm actually taking this to work with me today so that I make sure I get my buddy read pages done because today's kind of crazy. I've got some hair after work and yes, so that's going to be my plan. I'm so far ahead on manga right now. I'm not going to worry about manga today again. I'll jump back into it tomorrow. So yeah, work, hair appointment. And yeah, that's going to be the thing. So with that said, I better get going because It's also freaking cold outside, and I have to go defrost my car so I can go to work. So, see y'all later. Hello, good morning. So, today is the 15th, so this will probably be the last day I do any clips for this vlog. My skin is not very happy right now, so we're just gonna ignore that that's a thing. But I have read a volume of manga since we last chatted, and I've almost finished like 3 books. So hopefully we'll have book updates later today. I'm hoping to finish them off today. But I did read volume 1 of The Remarried Empress. This is brilliant. I love this so much. So essentially we have this couple, the emperor and the current empress here on the cover, who were basically childhood friends. They were betrothed since they were tiny, and they are now married. Their marriage is in trouble because while he was out adventuring, he picked up a girl who seems to be a former slave and really appreciates how the emperor is treating her. And so we're opening the series with him asking for a divorce from the empress. And she's like, okay, only if you give me permission to remarry. And the person she would be remarrying is a prince from another kingdom. And their interactions are adorable. That's all I'm going to say. Otherwise, it's going to spoil way too much. So, with that said, I'm in for the long haul on The Remarried Empress. I may jump on Webtoons and just jump way ahead and then just collect the physical copies as I go. But this is the perfect kind of hot mess for me, and I'm living for it. So, yes, really enjoying this one. So, what's happening now is I am about to head out. I need to go pick up my copy of The Lost Metal, and there's some other releases that I'm really excited about today, so I am headed over to the bookstore. I'm going to meet up with Maeve there. We'll probably do some reading and hang out for a while I'm there. But yeah, I'm so excited. I'm almost done with Bands of Mourning. I'm almost done with Crying in H Mart. And I'm almost done with my buddy read, which is Vespertine by Margaret Rogerson. I realize I haven't talked about that much in this video, but I'm adoring it. It's so good. Oh, just the... I'll talk to you more thoroughly about it when I finish it, but it's so good. Anyways, so with that said, I'm going to go. Once I finish some things, we'll have lots to chat about. So, talk to you later. Hello. So, we have a lot to talk about. So, I've got quite a pile here to chat about with you real quick, and we can wrap up this vlog, and I can get working on it so that you guys have it in a timely manner. So, I've got 6 more volumes of manga that I've read, I think. Yeah, 1, 2, 6 that I have on me. I did read one additional one, but I didn't end up finishing it. So we'll start with the manga, and then we will go into the 3 novels that I've also finished since we last chatted. So, manga-wise, the first one I read today was Though I Am an Inept Villainess. Essentially, this is a historical body swap kind of situation where we're dealing with a harem where 2 of the women in the harem swap places. Basically, the most favored one and the least favored one end up swapping places. And it made me... It was fine. It didn't necessarily do anything wrong, but I think there are other series that I'm reading that I enjoy this kind of a trope or this kind of setting better, like Apothecary Diaries, where we're seeing it from an outside perspective rather than an internal one. And then I have some other like strongly political related things that I'm enjoying more. So I think this one was just not it for me. It's not bad, but it just isn't one that I would want to add to my collection. I think I've got some others that I enjoy how it does it better. So that's why I didn't end up bringing this one home. But again, it wasn't bad. If it piques your interest, I would definitely try it. All right, let's get on to the other manga that I've read. So I finished off I Can't Believe I Slept With You. Because yes, volume 3 is the final volume. This is just a really fun, cute Yuri. I feel like the little bit of awkwardness that you have in volume 1 really smooths out quickly in volume 2. And we see the real reason why you have that little awkward thing in the beginning of volume 1 in volume 3. You get the full context for it, and it doesn't feel quite so weird. And I really just enjoy the series as a whole. I think it's a really solid Yuri. I like that it involves adults, and it's just really sweet. I really like the art. I really like the dynamic between the two of them as things progress. And yes, so would definitely recommend continuing on with the series. I do think volume 2 and 3 are much stronger than the first one for me, but yes, would recommend. Next, I got current on The Savior's Book Cafe Story in Another World by reading volumes 3 and 4. That is all that is currently out. We will have one more volume of this coming out relatively soon, I think. I don't know for sure. I think at some point it was slotted for May, but I don't think we'll have to wait that long considering it's the final volume of the series. But this second arc of the story has been very interesting. I'm not going to say too much because they are volumes 3 and 4 of a series. But 4 should be the penultimate volume, and I really like where it's headed. I think volume 5 will give us some great reveals. I really love our characters. I love our main couple here. I ship them so hard. They are so adorable. Nothing can come between them. They are perfect together. They are the perfect bookish couple, and I love them. I love them desperately. So yes, please pick this one up if you haven't. Next, I have Futari Escape. This is a new Yuri where our character with the dark hair is a mangaka and the blonde is currently unemployed. And it's about how they are just kind of escaping their life together and enjoying their time together. This Yuri comedy is adorable. They are together as a couple. They take baths together, things like that. It's not overly sexual or anything, but they're really sweet. I really enjoyed it. This was a good, fun time. This is volume 1, and it's just very slice of life. It was a really cute slice of life Yuri. Again, they're both adults, and I think it's going to be a really good time. So looking forward to the series moving forward. And then last for the manga is another slice of life, because apparently slice of life is what I love. And that is Touring After the Apocalypse, volume 1. In this one, we're following our main character here, and she is essentially trying to travel around and follow in the footsteps of her older sister. But this is like she's seeing her on like an Instagram, like her stories, and then she's going through Touring After the Apocalypse and seeing all of these sites. We don't know how the apocalypse happened or anything like that, or how her sister's involved, but it seems like these two are some of the only living people on the surface, at least. So we don't know much about the apocalypse or how it works in this first volume, but we get kind of the slice of life of these two going around touring these sites, modeled after the pictures that you see on her broken phone of her sister. So it was really enjoyable for me. It had some really sweet kind of heartfelt moments mixed in with the slice of life. And this is just going to be a really unique title. It's going to be a hit or miss. You're either going to love it like I did, or you're just not going to enjoy it and you're going to feel bored. I honestly think it's going to be one or the other on this one. So I can't give a blanket recommend, but if it intrigues you, I would definitely pick up the first volume, see how you feel about it, check it out from the library, sit in the bookstore and read it, do whatever you need to do to figure out if it's something you're going to love before purchasing, especially if you're on a budget. But yeah, I really enjoyed it and I'm glad to have it in my collection. All right, let's talk books. So first, I did finish my reread of The Bands of Mourning. I can't believe I forgot so much of this book. A lot more of that should have stuck with me, and I don't know why it didn't. The only thing I can think is I rushed through it and I had read it physically instead of on audio, and I think more of it just sank in this time. And I'm really glad I did it on audio, so I will most likely be doing Lost Metal on audio as well. I do have it on audio and in physical, so I may do a blended of the two. I haven't decided yet. I have some time to figure that out. But yes, Bands of Mourning, fantastic, still 5 stars, still amazing. Next, Crying in H Mart by Michelle Zauner. Finally finished it. 5 stars. This was a beautiful look at a different perspective in life for me. And I have my things that are nostalgic, like H Mart is to Michelle's honor. And I just think this is really interesting. I think the less you know going in, the better it is. This is deeply emotional. And yes, 5 stars. I mean, yes. Just yes. Again, this is one I don't want to say a lot about because this is someone's life. And I think it's best for you to just go in and experience it. So, and then last but not least is Vespertine by Margaret Rogerson. I love this. This has been my favorite Margaret Rogerson so far. I really loved Sorcery of Thorns. These two are kind of tied for me. But if you like the darker side of things, you're going to like Vespertine more than Sorcery of Thorns. But I had a great time with this one. I found the our main character of, why did her name just leave me? Yeah, because it's Artemista. That's why. I'm just going to call her Mia. I find her very interesting. I feel like her history and her past leads to a very rich dynamic early on in the book that just carries through. And I just had an amazing time with this one. I could have done with it being a little bit longer, but that's just me being selfish. I do think the length of this is pretty good. I could have obviously read more, but I'm also a person who reads Brandon Sanderson's like 1,200 page books and wants more. So I'm just selfish in that way. So Vespertine's really solid and really good. If you've been sitting on this one, I would definitely recommend picking it up. I do know that it's the young adult book of the month pick at Barnes & Noble, so you can always pick it up. And usually the monthly picks are also buy one, get one half off. And I know our store has some amazing ones, so I would check out your local store and see what they have available for BOGO. And yes, this was a fantastic YA fantasy. I don't find those often, so when I do, it's just great. And again, this is one I think the less you know going in, the better off you are. It definitely deals with like death and spirits and ancient spirits and almost necromancy kind of things. It's very, very interesting. It definitely goes into darker things than Rogerson has gone into before, and I think she handled it marvelously. So yes, would definitely recommend that one. I would say it's a solid like 4.5, 4. I don't think it's quite a 5. So I do think I like Sorcery of Thorns a little bit better now that I'm sitting here, because I didn't hesitate on giving that one a 5. This one's like a 4, 4.5. Still a solid read. Better than an Enchantment of Ravens, but not quite Sorcery of Thorns level. And yeah, I think it's really, really good. I really had a great time with it. So that's going to be it for this vlog. Thank you guys so much for following along with me the first half of November. I know my clips are a little bit scattered and a little bit crazy, but lots of reading has been happening. I believe that's 29 volumes of manga and like 5, 6 books, something like that. I don't know. I've lost track. But yes, so there's books, there's manga, and a little something for everyone in this vlog. So thank you for watching. If you're here just because you love me, let's do some sort of book-related emoji for Savior's Book Cafe story, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Was it all just a dream, just all in my